Well, we are just about 90 participants, and um, we had a few more than 100, so we'll probably have a few other people joining us later. But I do want to go ahead and get started because we do have quite a bit of content and want to acknowledge and really thank you all for spending your evening with us, at least a good part of it, or morning. With us being virtual, there's no telling exactly where in the world you'll be reaching at. You're viewing us from and participating in this conversation. My name is Jason Autry, and I am an assistant director with the University Honors Program. I've been with the program since 2013. I was an advisor for 4 years, and for the last three, I've been in my current role where I manage all the admissions processes, some assessment, some communications, our website, social media for the last 3 years. So it's been a real treat. And one of the best parts of my job is working with our University Honors Ambassadors, who are a small group of students who really take pride and love the program. And I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves now.
Hi, I'm Haley Rich. I'm from a small town in Michigan. I think if you look on the map, it's right here for you guys. But I'm currently residing in Cincinnati. I'm living in my sorority house.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm from Northern Kentucky.
Hi guys, I'm Claire. I graduated high school from Louisville, Kentucky, but I live in Freeland, Michigan.
Hi everyone, my name's Elma. I'm an international student from Indonesia and I study chemical engineering at UC.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia and I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I loved it so much I wanted to stay.
All right, and yeah, we have 5 ambassadors with us tonight, and you'll be hearing from each of them here shortly. Just to kick us off, we know that you we're not even on campus this evening. Well, Elizabeth might be. I'm not quite sure. It looks like she might be in Nippert. So some of us are on campus. Actually, the photo that we have here is actually of the outside of Nippert, up Main Street. But one of the things that we take great pride in is how beautiful our campus is, especially with mixed architecture, being an urban campus. We definitely have our own specific feel. And it's one of the things that many UC students acknowledge and love about the campus is the great mixture of architecture, urban space. We hope it gets you excited and everything else about visiting campus. Hope things are looking well for this fall. We haven't gotten any official word, but we're definitely on the right side of on the right trajectory so that we can hopefully welcome everybody to campus here shortly. To get us started about the University Honors Program, first of all, our vision statement is that we set out to develop students into global citizen scholars who lead innovative efforts towards solving the world's complex problems. And this is an incredibly important, it's our North Star. It's what directs us in the way that we work with students. It's also a signifier for how different of a university honors program we are from many other universities and colleges out there. Our focus is on the holistic student, not just building out the academic student. And we always are asking students, and you'll be hearing from a few of them, about how they want to approach solving which of the world's problems within their communities, within their fields, within their areas of interest. We leave it pretty open to them, but we always want them to be thinking, how can I make a positive impact on the world? That's what navigates us in all the work that we do. So some of the ways that we do that is, first of all, we pride ourselves on offering an individualized and student-centered program. Not a single student graduates from the University Honors Program doing the exact same experiences. We have limitless a number of options of what students can do with our program and what counts. And the piece there is through our individualized advising, our one-on-one time, our advisors work specifically with our students so that they're getting out the most from their entire undergraduate experience. One of the ways that we also do that is we try to connect students early on, right from their first semester, even some of the work that we do beforehand, with activities and opportunities where they can explore their passions, their gifts and talents, really focusing on who they are as a person and who they want to grow up to be and the things that motivate them. So that becomes kind of like the center stone for all of the work that we do. And then we center that around this incredible community, not only of students, but of student leaders, some of which are here today, but also a wide array of faculty members and staff members, campus partners, some community partners, even partners who we've worked with abroad in a variety of different countries to offer all these opportunities to engage with students, all centered around that vision of making a positive impact. And then lastly, we put that all in a bundle to help the students. The way that we separate ourselves is by focusing on reflection. And whenever we're talking about reflection, we're not talking about the typical reflection, like write a reflection paper that you hear in high school, is like, read a book, tell me what you think type of thing. This gets into dialing into who you are, why those things are meaningful to you, purposeful. It's about not only reflecting back, but reflecting forward and creating goals and landmarks that are going to be important landmarks for you to hit as you complete each year. And we ask our students to check in on those landmarks year after year and record those thoughts, record what went into each of those experiences that made them a success. And you'll be hearing a little bit about those here shortly. Just to get to the nitty gritty of what we require as a program, we have, first of all, the only class that's required for the program is that you take Gateway to University Honors. It's a 1 credit hour course that's completely free, at least tuition wise. We do ask you to purchase an assessment for $12 within the class, but that's all the more price wise that'll go into our class. That class focuses on setting you on a trajectory for success within the program, telling you the details and all the different opportunities and how to engage with us. Beyond that, we ask that you meet with your honors advisors. We say annually because we'd like to see you every year, but technically there's only actually 2 check-in points. We do try to stay flexible with when students want to meet, how they want to meet. And then we also have learning portfolios, which you start creating in your Gateway to University Honors course. These are online websites where you get to document all the experiences that you're completing towards the program. And then anything else that you want to add. Some of our students really go above and beyond and really want to make them into professional portfolios that they can send to different people who are hiring or to graduate schools that really allow our students to stand above and beyond most other students. And then we also require a 3.2 GPA. This is in alignment with the Cincinnati scholarship, even though we're totally separate entities, but we also want to value great academic progress, and that 3.2 GPA is there as an endpoint so that all of our students can at least achieve that by the time that they graduate. But the centerpiece and where we are as a program is our focus in experiential learning. And we do that because we're a program not based on taking honors versions of courses, even though we do have some seminars, and you'll hear shortly about some of them. But these honors experiences put students in, even our seminars, put students in places where they get to actually see and interact with community members and see the real impact of the work that they're doing. Because we believe that experience is the teacher of all things. I can give you a book, but until you put those theories and everything into practice and see how they actually work and work with a wide variety of people, you won't actually know fully how you're learning. And we think that that's the key to really defining and setting apart what your undergraduate experience can be. And that's why it's central to our program. So with all of that said, with some general background about big picture, who we are as a program, and then setting out the requirements of 5 experiences per year, we have a few students who will be talking to you about the different types of experiences that they've done themselves and that they know about. All of them will fall into 3 different categories. Either they'll be seminars, which are the courses that we have, the unique courses that we have to offer as a program, pre-approved experiences, which are, I believe the current list is over 60 different types of experiences that we've identified that either we offer or that campus community partners offer, that really are the cream of the crop, like top-notch experiences that we think students can engage in. And if none of those options fit for you and what you want to do, we also, in that Gateway to University Honors course, teach you how you get to create your own from scratch with the help of your advisor and a few other partners. You'll be seeing examples of all 3 types in the following presentations. So first up, we have Haley, who will be joining us and sharing a little bit about her experiences.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So I'm Haley, and I'm in the College of Design, Art, Architecture, and Planning, more known as DAP here on campus and through the community. Yeah, just a little bit about me. So I'm an industrial design major. I'm a 3rd year, 3 out of 5, because I'm in a 5-year co-op program. If you don't know much about industrial design, a simple way to put it is like product design and development, but it encompasses a little bit more than that. So yeah, like I said, I'm from Michigan. It's a small town called St. Joseph. I really like mountain biking and hiking, skiing and cooking. Why UC? Obviously, I'm an out-of-state student. So I came to Cincinnati for the well-respected industrial design program and the co-op program. The co-op program is another great opportunity through Cincinnati. And then why UHP? I love to learn, and I wanted to be exposed to students from across the university in intellectual settings from all different majors. A lot of design schools are only design schools, but through UC and through the honors program, I get to meet a lot of cool people who you'll hear from next, from a bunch of different majors. That just only expands my thinking and my exposure. Yeah, and then like Jason was saying, UC's honors program is just a lot different from other schools because you don't just take harder classes, but you get to do opportunities that make you grow as a student and as a person, and start growing into the best person that you can be for the world. Plus, you get to schedule early, which is awesome, because you really don't have to worry about getting a class that you want. As long as it fits in your schedule, like, you're pretty good to go. And then, yeah, that picture on the right is from my co-op in Utah. It was a trailhead. It was like a 15-minute drive from my apartment, and I'll be going back there in the summer, so I'm pretty excited. Just a little overview of the honors experiences that I've done so far. So I'm a 3rd year, so I'm currently have done 3, which is 3 out of 5. So I'm feeling good about my track. But so the first one I did was leadership. It was an older pre-approved experience, like Jason was saying, from that list of over 60. It was kind of like a week-long getaway, all about like defining who you are as a leader and what you want to do in the world. And definitely a great intro to the honors program, and kind of starting to think about like what kind of person I want to be, and how I can take everything that I'm learning in school and in my life and apply it for good. And then my second one was a voice amplifier redesign, which sounds kind of strange, but it was a self-designed experience. So, and I'll touch into this one a little bit later, but yeah, that was good. So I wrote up a proposal and then completed the experience, and then did a reflection and presentation on it, but I'll get into more of that later. And then I'm currently in a class called Environmental Futures. It's an honors seminar, so one of the classes that the college offers. And Claire's also in that class, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later. And then future, what's for me? hopefully study abroad. So that will count for 2 of my honors experiences. It's COVID pending, so we'll see, but I'm in the process of possibly going to the Netherlands to study at a school called TU Delft in the fall. So I'm really excited for that. And then more honor seminars. I love my honor seminar right now, and I just want to take as many as I can. And then I'm also looking at working with a professor to do some design research, doing that as a self-designed experience. I actually had a meeting with my honors advisor yesterday. Yes, it was yesterday. And we talked about that. It was a great meeting. Yeah, so a little bit into this honor seminar that I'm in right now. It's called Environmental Futures. We analyze text across a bunch of different genres relating to the concept of environmental or man-made apocalypses and how that relates to the current state of our country. So I'm taking this as my last English class, which is awesome because it fulfills an honors requirement as well as my last elective. And this is one of my favorite classes that I've ever taken. And I usually hate English classes. Most of my English classes that I had to do for my major were taken care of in high school. So I was not looking forward to taking like my last English class in college, but I love this class and I look forward to it every week. One of the great things about honors seminars is that there are no prerequisites to taking the class, other than just being in the honors program. A lot of like the cool and thoughtful and super interesting classes that I see that are offered through normal colleges, they require you to take a bunch of prerequisites that kind of makes it a little bit not very feasible to take the class. And that happens across all colleges, right? All these cool classes are upper level classes and you have to take prerequisites to get you there. But honor seminars aren't like that, which is awesome because you can just hop into these super interesting classes. This class is Socratic based. And so most of what we do in class is all discussion based. We do projects and we haven't had a test yet. And I love that, especially being a design major. And the thing that's so cool about it's just a group of interdisciplinary intellectual students who love to learn and love to talk about stuff like this. So we have like design majors and a horticulture major and med sci and bio, and it's super cool group of students. It's really good class. And I'm glad that I take it. And then just a little bit into the self-designed experience that I did. So this was a passion project based on my major, which is industrial design. So my mom's vocal cords are deteriorating, which is really sad. And so she has to wear this voice amplifier so that people at work can hear her and that she can talk and live out her life. And so I wrote up this proposal to get funding through the honors program to redesign this thing that my mom has to use on a day-to-day. It was a phenomenal experience. It improved my professional skills immensely and helped me get a very good co-op very quickly. And it was partially funded, which is really nice. And then after I presented it at an experience showcase and was able to show all my peers and members throughout the entire university about like the major industrial design and also about this condition that my mom has. So this was a great experience, and I'm really glad that I took this project and this idea I had and helped and did it through the honors college because it made it an even better project. Is UHP worth it? Because I was thinking that same thing when I was a freshman, like, do I want to go into college and sign up for more stuff? But yes, 100% UHP is definitely worth it. I'm more thoughtful, I'm more confident, introspective, well-rounded, creative, and connected. It's done nothing but enhance my education. Like I'm never like, oh man, I have to do this thing for the honors program. Everything that you get to do through the honors program only makes your studies better and more thoughtful. And it gives me as a design student, it gives me the opportunity to like learn content outside what I'm required to do, which just only increases the work that I do in DAP for my major. It makes it more thoughtful and better researched. And last, here is a QR code to my honors portfolio. Feel free to check it out. It's got some good content from leadership and some fun pictures. So thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation. Next, we're going to have Elizabeth talk.
Yeah, and before, as Elizabeth gets ready to talk, one thing that I neglected to do is to inform you that you should have your cell phones out so that you can take pictures of We have a few QR codes so that you can see what some of our students are actually up to and what examples of their learning portfolios. The last announcement I forgot to make is that we will actually be taking questions after the session. So be ready to ask our panel of students any questions that you might have. We'll be going till the end of the hour, so we want to just share as much information as we can with you. And with that, we'll pull up Elizabeth.
Great, everyone. So Jason said at the beginning if I was at Nippert, and I am enjoying the beautiful weather. So I hope everyone can hear me. And if not, feel free to call me out to clarify something. But yes, my name is Elizabeth Ropeker, and I am a student in the Lindner College of Business. So I'm a second year, but I'm actually graduating a year early. So if anyone has any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer those. So I'm the class of 2022. And I'm majoring in economics, and that's a Bachelor of Arts in my case. You can also do a Bachelor's of Business Administration for economics. And I'm also minoring in chemistry and psychology, and then getting 2 certificates, a pre-med certificate and a global health studies certificate. So kind of all over the place there. And I'm from Erlanger, Kentucky, which is just across the river, just about 20 minutes. So pretty familiar with the Cincinnati area, but I haven't lived in Cincinnati until now. And I'm involved in the Closet Business Scholars, which is one of the business honors programs here, although business honors is actually transitioning soon to more of a general business honors instead of specific programs in there. So I can also answer questions about that later. And then I'm also involved in 4PAWS, University Honors, of course, GlobeMed, Greek Life, and I do a lot of research and volunteering at Cincinnati Children's. So I've actually finished all 5 of my honors experiences. And one of the ones that I'm currently involved in now, I'm doing my 3rd semester of RAMP, which stands for Biomedical Research and Mentorship Program, which is one of the pre-approved experiences Jason was talking about earlier. And with that experience, anyone in honors can sign up to look at some presentations for people at Children's and the University of Cincinnati Medical School who are looking for a student to mentor. And you can apply to their labs and then get really involved with research, which is super nice because at a lot of places you kind of have to cold call professors and or PhDs, doctors to get research. But here we kind of have it set up for you. So it's a little easier to get involved with research if that's something you're interested in. And then I also participated in SURF last summer, which is essentially RAMP, but just over the summer. Another research program. However, that was virtual because of COVID, so a little bit different. But this summer I'll be doing that again, and it will be in person, so I'm very excited about that. And this is my 3rd semester of RAMP, as I said earlier, and I'm actually involved in 2 labs right now. One is clinical psychology, and the other is developmental biology and immunology. Sorry about the bell. And then aside from research, I also did an honors seminar, which is actually kind of working with business honors as well. So that was an international business course, INTB 2014. And that's a study tour. And those are very cool honors experiences you can sign up for that have a week-long study abroad trip attached to them. So for that one, we were supposed to go to Montreal during spring break. It was canceled because of COVID, but I'm sure the study tours will be up and running again soon. And you usually either go during like a spring break type of thing, or after the semester is over, you'll go somewhere that is relevant to the course you are taking. And then one honors experience I completed last fall was the Student Leader Roundtable, which was a really cool experience that kind of got developed as a result of COVID. So students involved in leadership in any organization on UC's campus were able to sign up for this roundtable and all kind of collaborate and brainstorm on how we can keep people engaged and the feeling of community feeling strong despite all of the COVID things that have been kind of impacting people's ability to be in person. And then lastly, another honors experience I'm doing this semester is a GROW internship, which is pre-approved and related to the organization I'm involved with. I talked about a little bit at the beginning, GlobeMed. And that's a really cool internship where normally you would go abroad to your partner organization, but with COVID, that will be virtual, and we're going to be working remotely with our partner in Thailand on kind of working with them on health equity. So that's something I'm also very excited about. So why UC? One thing that is really unique about UC and really fantastic about us is our co-op opportunities. This is especially great for anyone interested in business, engineering, or DAP, like Haley talked about earlier. And we also have a lot of research here at UC, either at the many great hospitals surrounding UC, including Children's, but we also have Christ, Good Samaritan, so many hospitals nearby. If you're interested in research of any kind, doesn't have to be related to medicine or science even. I know a lot of people involved with research in economics and the College of Business as well. And kind of going along with business, we also have a lot of Fortune 500 companies in Cincinnati. So we have Kroger, P&G, and a lot of opportunities to work at really big companies like that. And we have a beautiful campus. Have a great view right now. And I love all the architecture here. We have, you know, a lot of modern buildings and also a lot of older, beautiful buildings. So I think it's really fun to just walk around campus, see all the greenery. Now that spring's here, it's been super nice to get outside. And another reason I love UC is that it's large enough that there's plenty to do. You know, you don't necessarily walk around and see someone you recognize, but at the same time, there's definitely a sense of community, especially when you're involved with something like honors, where you have a smaller group of people. And then lastly, UC is dedicated to continuous improvement. We're always building something, working on something. So that's really important in a university where, you know, hopefully your college degree will be worth more 10 years from now than it is when you graduate. And then why UHP? I think continuous learning is really important. I love to learn. I love to learn about, you know, things I'm interested in, not necessarily related to my major or even school. And so that is something that UHP is really great about. You know, you always have opportunities to continue to learn, and your experiences can be related to what your major is or not. It can be really anything you want. Even study abroad stuff, you know, not even always the most academic things people always think of when they think of these honors experiences. And we also have some great things like priority scheduling, like Jason talked about earlier, and funding for honors experiences. So for example, if you wanted to study abroad and you kind of knew that ahead of time, a lot of students study abroad who aren't involved in honors, but honors students have the ability to apply for funding to fund those trips. So you might get a little extra money there. And then lastly, we have access to opportunities that non-honor students don't always have access to, such as the ramp experience I talked about earlier, and classes, honor seminars. So lots of things that not everyone gets to do that we have the ability to do as honor students. And those programs are super diverse for whatever your interest is. Okay, and then lastly, what's next? As I said earlier, I'll be doing surf this summer. So that's research in pulmonology and developmental biology at Children's, which I'm really excited about. And then I'll be taking honors economics 3076 next fall with Julia, who she'll speak a little later. And that's a really cool, very modern class about cryptocurrency. Lots of Bitcoin stuff involved. So I'm excited about that, kind of delve into something I'm not super familiar with. And then I'm hoping I'll get to study abroad, but that's a little bit COVID pending. And then feel free to pull out your phone and scan my QR code for my honors portfolio. Everything I talked about in this presentation, all of my honors experiences, there's more info there if you're curious about something. And thank you guys. And then next, Claire will be talking about her experiences.
Hi guys, so Koom. I'm a third year studying medical sciences and also pursuing a minor in public health and a certificate in minority health. Like I said earlier, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, graduated from Louisville, Kentucky, but currently live in Freeland, Michigan. And I was also born in Cincinnati, so I guess it's a return here. A fun fact about me, I'm a peer educator at UC Student Wellness Center. So my honors experiences, I'm actually done with them. It doesn't look like much, but I did a self-design experience where I studied abroad in South Korea at Seoul National University, and then I also did a 2-week internship at a immunotherapy research company, and that counted as 2 honors experiences. And then I did a pre-approved experience, which is a co-op 2.0, where I work currently as a contact tracer for the UC COVID check response team. And then, like Haley mentioned, I'm currently also in a UHP seminar, Environmental Futures. I'm taking it as a biology credit, while Haley is taking it as an English credit. So it's really fun that you can use the similar course for different requirements that you may need. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about my self-design experience. Like I said, I went to Seoul National University. It's like a month-long program. It was an international program, so I met a whole bunch of people from all over the world, like Hong Kong, Britain, Saudi Arabia, like so many different people from all over the world. And through this experience, because I did this through honors, I learned how to develop a proposal and form a budget, which is never something I really done before. So it was really interesting to work through that and try to develop a plan for my summer. And because I did this with the honors, I received a $1,000 grant, which is very helpful for my bank account. So I was really grateful for that. While I was at the program, I took a cognitive science course and a statistics course. And then while there, I traveled through many different areas of Seoul, such as Gangnam, Hongdae, and Myeongdong. And during my internship, it was mainly research in immunotherapy for cancer. So I got a lot of wet lab skills while I was there, which I could translate to my current research where I studied traumatic brain injury at the College of Medicine or Pharmacology. And after that experience, I shadowed a bunch of physicians there, such as a dermatologist, a pediatrician, and a OBGYN. And it was really interesting because I got to see a whole different medical system that's different from the US. So I learned a lot while I did that. So these are some pictures from my experience. At the top, you can see where I interned. It was at the Louis Pasteur Institute, and it was in a region of Seoul that's like top notch, like really forward thinking in the scientific area of Seoul. And then below that is Everland, which is an amusement park in Korea, and then Gwanghwamun Plaza, which is a plaza in the middle of Seoul. It's really interesting because you'll see that traditional castle in the back, but then on the other side of that, there's just modern buildings, and it's really interesting to see the balance between history and then modern architecture. And then below that is at the Seoul National University. That's my cognitive science professor. She's actually a professor at Columbia in New York, and she was a visiting professor while I was there, and she was very insightful and I had a lot to learn from. And then this is my pre-approved experience. I work as a co-op contact tracer, and this is through the Co-op 2.0. So basically, Co-op 2.0 is a new initiative that UC has put forward, and it's an on-campus co-op. So it's traditionally co-op is for business majors, engineering majors, DAT majors, but this gives a chance for other majors across UC to get a more professional experience. And this was in conjunction with the INT 1000 class, which helped further develop your professional skills and makes you reflect on what you're learning and what you're doing while you're working. So as a contact tracer, I basically call cases in the UC community who have tested positive for COVID or been exposed. And I work with them to establish their next steps, such as putting them in quarantine or isolation. And then I also maintain an eye on their symptoms to make sure that nothing further happens and that they're recovering. Through this experience, I developed a lot of communication and decision-making skills. And I also produced a summary project to include more diversity training and improve cultural competence within the team, which is something very near and dear to my heart. And obviously, this is an experience born out of the COVID pandemic, which really shows how UHP continues to adapt and change with the times to make sure that you get the best experiences possible. So what's next for me? I'm currently on the pre-med track. So I'm taking a growth year next year after I graduate. So I'm taking the MCAT my 4th year instead of my 3rd year. And then hopefully I will be going to medical school, fingers crossed. So this is my honors portfolio. Feel free to check it out, and where I dive more into the honors experience that I have done. And that's also my email, so if you want to email me any questions, feel free. And next, Ilma will be presenting.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elma. I am a 5th year now at UC. So I'm graduating next month, which is super exciting. So I'm really almost done with the honors program. At UC, I'm studying chemical engineering with a minor in finance. And I'm also an international student from Indonesia. So as an international student, I applied to colleges all over the world. And I finalized on UC on 3 big reasons. It was mostly the scholarship and the co-op program they had for engineering. But another big reason was definitely the honors program. It was nice that you would be able to get funding to really explore your passions. So honors was really a big part of why I chose UC and the experience I got from here. So my first experience in the honors program is a leadership retreat called Leadership. And it was really cool because it was my first time really building an honors community. Through the experiences I've had, I've really been able to meet a lot of really cool people who are just as ambitious and hardworking and determined as you. It's been a great network for my job search as well, personally, for postgraduate jobs. A lot of the people I reached out to were people that I met through the honors community. So, and they all work in some of like the biggest companies too. So that was pretty cool. But in this leadership retreat specifically, we got to learn from other leaders and kind of reflect on ourselves and our leadership styles. And something unique was that we had to write what our vision was for the future, what we wanted to contribute to the world. And it's kind of a commitment to a healthy disregard for the impossible. So if you could do anything in the world, what would you do? And my personal goal that I wrote about freshman year was that I was passionate about education, and I wanted to, I would love to increase resources to good education, especially for Indonesians back home, because coming from a third world country, we don't have the best education resources out there. And it was really cool because throughout college, I've been working on a project where I wrote a book and I was trying to publish it. And a year ago, right before the COVID pandemic, it was actually published, and it's called How Did I Get 7 Scholarships in 7 Countries, where I shared my journey and I shared all the resources that I had and the tips that I had. So just to encourage and motivate the children back home. So it was really cool that it went full circle from freshman year to now that I'm graduating, and my goal that I had through this honors experience became a reality. So for my next experience, I had a seminar called the Global Technical Workforce, and it was really cool. It was basically a seminar where we learned how technical companies all over the world work together to achieve the same goal. And as a part of the seminar, you were able to travel during spring break, and you had 3 options. You could go to France, Germany, or Guatemala. And I personally chose Germany. And this class also counted as a BOK for my major. So that was really cool that I got to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. So I traveled to Munich, Germany. Really awesome experience. We went to some really cool places like GE Research, BMW headquarters. So we got to see all the robots and everything, painting and manufacturing and building these cars. Super cool. And we also went to the Technical University of Munich. And in a lot of these places, we actually met UC students who were co-oping there or doing some type of research or study abroad there. So it was really cool to see other Bearcats in Germany. But the coolest part about this trip is the bottom right. You can see that's a picture of me in front of the Alps. So since Austria is right next door, we took a train there and we hiked there, and it was definitely a highlight of my life. It's a lot more beautiful than any picture could show, and just seeing it with my own eyes was pretty life-changing. So my third experience was an honor seminar. And it was called Kids Who Kill. So I'm personally very interested in criminology. I love the TV show Criminal Minds, if any of you guys watch it. But it was really cool. We learned about all the reasons why children become murderers, like the psychosocial causes, genetic causes, metaphysical causes, etc. And the cool part was that we actually had lawyers, doctors, experts, and someone who went through the juvenile justice system come to speak with us. And we ended the seminar with a visit to a youth detention center. So it was a really eye-opening experience. And it was just being able to really just talk to experts, talk among each other about this really fascinating topic. So very cool. And lastly, so this was my last one, but since it was a study abroad, it counted as 2 experiences. And this definitely has to be my favorite. So this was last spring. I went to the University of Sydney for a study abroad semester. And it was amazing. I got randomly put into an apartment with 7 other girls, and I was kind of nervous, but they actually are now some of my best friends. I've met people from all over the world. It was so nice that I got like a family so far from home. But in Sydney, we got to travel to Melbourne, Gold Coast, Byron Bay, and Brisbane. So that was really nice. I went to the Australian Open. I saw Nadal up close, so that was really awesome, seeing like all the big tennis stars firsthand. If you see in the bottom right, I learned how to surf there, which was really cool. I went to a surf camp. I went kayaking under the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. And I made friends with a kangaroo too, as you can see on the top right. But yeah. So I'm graduating next month, super exciting. And then in the summer, I'll be moving to Dallas for my first full-time job. I'll be working at Goldman Sachs as part of their new analyst program. And I definitely want to highlight that the honors program has definitely given me an advantage during the job search. I think it definitely makes you a lot more interesting and unique as a candidate after graduation. And I was really able to showcase that in my resumes, and like interviewers point that out and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But after graduation, I definitely want to continue pursuing my passions that I pursued in honors. Yeah, so overall, honors really has given me an opportunity to dive into my interests outside of my major. Like engineering is super technical, so it's math and science all the time. But I'm really interested in other things outside of that, like criminology and international travel and leadership. So honors was really able to support those interests, so I could get like a more holistic experience during my time at UC. And they really do support you financially as well with their grants as well. So I really wouldn't have done all this without honors. So very grateful for my experience here. And if you want to check out my honors portfolio, you can scan the QR code. And last, Julia will be the last speaker.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia, and I'm so excited to tell you about my UC and UHP journey. This is a photo of me at Nippert, where Elizabeth is right now. I'm pretty jealous. It's one of my favorite places on campus, and I hope you all get to see it. So just a little bit about me. I am a second year. I'm originally from Cincinnati, so I'm pretty familiar with the area, but I really loved getting to explore it more while a student at UC. I'm majoring in economics through the Lindner College of Business. And Elizabeth mentioned she's in the Bachelor of Arts program there. I'm actually in the Bachelor of Business Administration, so they're a little bit different. And then I'm also majoring in neuroscience through the College of Arts and Sciences. I actually originally picked UC because of the medical sciences program, which Claire is in. It's a really unique program where it's actually through the College of Medicine. But just as I spent my first year at UC, I realized my passions didn't lie there. But I'm lucky that Cincinnati has so many different strong programs. And through Lindner and through the College of Arts and Sciences, I've really found my fit. And I'm lucky that we have such a great co-op program too. So at the end of the day, it was an amazing choice for me. And I love UHP because it's flexible and it helps you really find and cultivate your passions. I have a lot of diverse interests, but there are just like so many different ways you can take your honors experiences. I know that there are just a lot of different opportunities for me. Honors doesn't just cater toward one major or one group of majors, one discipline. It caters to pretty much every student at the university. So one of my favorite parts about the honors program is that you can do honors housing, where you basically live in a room in a suite with other honors students, and most of your floor, if not all of your floor, is other honors students. So this is a picture of me and my roommate Jess in our room in Turner Hall last year, my freshman year. So there are 3 different buildings where you can do the university honors housing. We were in Turner, which is suite style. So me and Jess shared a room, and then we had 2 other suite mates who shared a different room, and then also like a little common area and our own bathroom for the 4 of us to share. It was really, really nice. And you also get priority housing reservations through the honors program. So we pretty much got like first pick of rooms among all the freshmen, and that was awesome. And mostly it was just great living with some of my best friends. Everyone had like really diverse interests, which was cool because I think a lot of people try and group with people who are in the same major, but my roommates were in organizational leadership and different types of engineering. So I kind of really got to see a very diverse perspective of things, which was a great experience my first year. Right now I'm serving as a resident advisor in the Stratford Heights community. And through that, I am also in the INT 1000 course, which is like the co-op 2.0 course. And that gives me a chance to reflect on the transferable skills that I'm gaining as an RA, which is really nice because even though it's like kind of a student job experience, I'm gaining so many leadership skills, conflict resolution skills, and that course gives me an opportunity to pretty much like be able to talk to employers and sell myself based on this job that I've done. And it's been a really great experience overall. I've loved building community in my hall and getting to know the other staff members and promoting REDS for core values, which are learning, community, inclusion, and leadership. And this here is a photo of my staff at Fountain Square. We were doing a bonding experience. It was just like, staff bonding, ice skating at Fountain Square. So there's a photo of us there. Another honors experience that I'm finishing up right now is called Women in Leadership and Learning. And this is a pre-approved experience through the UC Women's Center. And basically what it is I meet once a week with a facilitator who is like the director of the Women's Center and a group of other undergraduate women who are just interested in topics concerning feminism, social justice, equality, intersectionality. And it's a really fun way to just discuss these topics and figure out how we can bring our ideas to the community. And something really special that we do through it is a community action project. So this past semester for our community action project, my WIL cohort, it's, Women in Leadership and Learning, it's WIL for short. We decided to do a voter drive campaign. So it was a whole get out the vote, like social media campaign. And we helped register people around campus, and that was really fun. And I've just met so many awesome women through it. So I definitely have enjoyed this pre-approved honors experience. Here's a screenshot from my learning portfolio. I really like doing the portfolio because it gives me a chance to reflect on my experiences fully. Sometimes, you can do things and you can enjoy them, but you don't really think about your takeaways, the strengths that you gained from different experiences. But the learning portfolio is a great opportunity to do that in a creative way, because with each experience that you do this thing called a showcase, where you either post like a write-up or a video or like a portfolio of some sort, just showcasing what you did in that experience. Usually I write about my experiences. I really like writing, but I've seen other people, they did a photography project, so they'll do a little compilation of photos or things like that. It's just a great way to get creative. And I also love that it's something you can show employers, because you've done all these great things through the honors program. You should be able to showcase them. And yeah, there's a QR code so you can check out my honors portfolio if you're interested. And I'm also sending the link in the chat. So as for what's next, this summer I am participating in one of UHP's signature programs called UHP Discover. This is kind of similar to the RAMP program that Elizabeth was talking about, where it has to do with research, but it actually is all non-STEM research. So basically anything you can think of that's not STEM. I'm taking part in economic research, where I'm working with a faculty member in the political science department to study economic globalization, but there are also professors, mentors who are looking for students to research things like in DAP, the School of Architecture and Design, music, all kinds of different things. So I was worried when I was switching my major from kind of a STEM discipline to more of a business and like social science disciplines that I wouldn't get to take part in research, but I'm so excited that through UHP Discover, I get to do non-STEM research and study something that I'm really passionate about. So I think that'll be a great experience this summer. And then this fall, I am taking part in an honors seminar about cryptocurrency, the same one that Elizabeth was talking about. And I'm really excited about that as well. So that has pretty much been my experience so far through the UC and the University Honors Program. I've loved every minute of it. So I will kick it back to Jason so he can tell you more.
All right, thank you. I see that we do have a few questions coming in, and we'll be getting to those really shortly. I just wanted to share a few last slides with you. You've seen or you've heard about many of the benefits of the program. We have them listed here. You've heard about our priority registration, housing, network and community, leadership opportunities, the learning portfolio. The grant funding came up quite a few times. One thing that I want to be clear on, because grants can sometimes be applied to tuition, the grants that you receive through University Honors all go towards completing honors experiences for the program, or presenting or awards. None of the honors grants can be applied to tuition, housing. I like to say that honors grants help with the invisible costs of college, the things that you want to do to get the most out of your experiences, whether or not it's studying abroad, working on a project, everything else. So those invisible costs is really where University Honors tries to give support so that we can enable students to do those pieces. So yeah, so there goes, you heard already about some of the programs. I also just want to show the wide range of things that our students do after graduating, just to see where they all end up. You heard about Ilma's fantastic plans as she heads down to Dallas. So, but these are just a few of the fantastic companies or graduate schools or even nationally competitive awards like Fulbright that our students have, or startups like Venture for America. Our students do a whole lot of things, and it's representative of the individualized nature and the goals that our students come into our program with. As you've looked at UC, you've probably heard a lot about Next Lives Here. It's our president's strategic direction, and it focuses on inclusion, innovation, and impact. And we try to mirror that as much as possible. But I'm using this slide to also let you know what your next steps are for you to commit. Actually, all you need to do, we make it super easy for you. As soon as you confirm to coming to UC, you are automatically accepted. You automatically accept your invitation to the University Honors Program. There's no additional steps that you have to take. I would say just focus on your UC email. Pay attention to those important dates about orientation, housing, and all of those next steps for you. They're always a little bit different depending on which programs, which colleges. So just a broad piece, just pay attention to your UC email account. You'll get all the next steps that you need to take there. The first part that, and we had a question already related to it, was the honors housing piece. I know that the application opened up on March 1st and continues through all the way to May 5th. And we do have these fantastic communities for you to choose from. You are, however, not required at all to live in honors housing. You can live wherever you want, whatever fits your situation. We just like to offer these spaces so that honor students who have like-minded goals and feed off of that energy can come and see each other, live with each other there. We had a question regarding housing a little bit up. Let me see here. And if any of the students can cycle through the chat to help out with some of the questions so that we can tackle some of these here shortly. But I did notice, can you have Morgan asked, can you have a non-UHP roommate and still get priority housing? So what happens with housing is after you submit your application and in May, housing will reach out to you and you'll start, well, actually you can start creating your roommate groups all the way through. The key part here is the person who is assigned like the group leader in the roommate group is the one who gets to select the space. So if you select the honors student to be the group leader for the roommates, then you'll be selecting based on that priority registration. So if you want to take advantage of the priority registration, assign your group leader or have yourself be your group leader for your sets of roommates. You can live wherever you want. However, if you want to live in a university honors community, all of your roommates have to be university honors students. Otherwise, you can select any other space that's available in university housing. I wanted to get to that. I'm sure there's a few other ones, but I do, and we'll get to those questions. I just want to pull up our last slide here in case anybody has to go. You can find a lot of our information and our contacts at uc.edu/honors. And then we also have our Twitter and Instagram tag there so that you can find us there as well. So with that, we'll start going through some of the messages here. We had a question about the composition of the students in the program. We generally reflect the University of Cincinnati in a lot of ways. We have slightly more females than males, around 54% female to 46% male. I know that all 5 of our presenters are female today. I guess availability is the first or is the most important ability, and we're thankful to have all of them. We also have, I believe, 9 or 10 other honors ambassadors that are males, but none of them were available for today. So we did the best that we can there, but we also try to reflect the University of Cincinnati along all areas of diversity, making sure that we are always taking a look at things like race and sexuality and making sure that we represent the university and its rich diversity, because we think that that's a benefit to everyone, to the program, to the community, to have those diverse perspectives. We had a question from Ellie. How do we let the college know we will be attending the honors program? Asking for housing purposes. Housing will already know that you are in the honors program, so you don't have to worry about that. It's my job to make sure that housing knows. So you just submit your housing application. Everything will be taken care of on the backside. So, let's see here, going through some additional questions. And trust me, I'm not taking these. I'm just, I want to give any to our students that they can answer. So I'm reading here. Do we have to confirm our acceptance? We covered that. Automatically a part of it. Yes, absolutely. Do you have to do, also, we have to do 5 experiences during our entire time at UC. Do one of the students want to tackle that, the 5 experience question?
Yeah, you have to do 5. And like for me, I'm in a 5-year program, so I've just been doing 1 a year, and it's been a good pace for me. But like Elizabeth did all of hers a lot quicker. So it just depends on like what works with you, and it's super flexible with your schedule. And the semesters that work and don't work. Like last summer, it was a busy semester for me, so I didn't have time to do one, and that's totally fine. And I'm doing one this semester instead.
Yep. Fantastic. And then we covered how you apply for honors housing. Just fill out the housing application. Your honors benefit comes with you whenever you choose your space, if you choose to, as well as in assigning the group leaders so that you get the earliest access to pick your room whenever that happens in May. How well does the UHP program mesh with the Ascend program? Ilma, are you familiar with a few of your colleagues?
Yeah, I did. I actually did reply to that person in the chat. But honors has a very large College of Engineering population, and a lot of them do the Ascend program, and a lot of them obviously are in honors as well. So they mesh very well. Just because honors is not really that big of a type of commitment, really. So a lot of people are in both, and it's very, very manageable.
Yep. What if you enroll in the honors program but decide halfway through that you are no longer interested? I don't know why you'd think that, but I'm sure one of our students can comment on that. Maybe not, because they haven't dropped out.
I think I do know someone that started out in honors and then in the end left. She just didn't feel like it was for her. And I think all it was that she just didn't graduate with honors. So you can, if you want to leave, like they won't force you to stay. So you can leave if you do want to at any time. So
yeah, it's as easy as sending an email and saying, hey, this isn't working for me. And your advisor might work with you to try to answer why that is. That's part of our individualized nature, because the way that we see ourselves is we're an added layer of support and resources. So no matter what you want to do, our team of advisors and staff are there to support what you want to accomplish. And we think that we can mold our program to fit whatever your individual needs are. But inevitably, we're an invite program. So some students may have received the invite and just said, you know what, like, it's just not for me. And you can choose to leave at any point. There's no penalty to doing so, but I would heavily advocate for you to at least try it the first year. I don't think the first year is a huge time commitment. Try the Gateway to University honors course and meet other students. And I guess what I'm trying to say is know what you want to know. Make sure that you know what you're dropping before you drop it, and how the program can work with you. And I think the best way to do that is by engaging with some members of our community. Are there honor specific dorms, or do you get priority selection? We have specific floors in those 3 different buildings that were noted on that slide in Turner, Marion, Spencer, and which one am I forgetting? Scioto?
I think the last one's Scioto.
Yep. Thanks, Julia, our resident advisor, who knows all. how many students are in UHP per grade. We kind of take a look at it as fall cohorts. Our aim is to have 325 students here every fall. So that's a really small group of students. It's typically just the top 5 to 7% of students that come to UC. So we think, well, I've heard a lot of students say that one of the advantages is UC feels like this large space with all these resources. But one of the benefits of University Honors is really tightening that community so that you can have a tight knit place that makes it feel a lot smaller than it is. So you get the benefits of both. Do one of the students want to tackle what's the difference between a minor and getting a certificate?
I can do that. So a minor is basically a mini major. It's a more broad topic of knowledge such as history and English, and usually you have to do it within a major as well. A certificate's like a mini minor, so it's more specific and tackles like specific topics such as like infant child care, like health, and you can actually take those while you're not like a full-time student as well. So you don't technically finish your certificate while you're at UC.
And how much of a weekly time commitment is UHP?
I can answer that one, I guess. It's definitely not really a time commitment. It's not really an hourly basis. It's based on what you want to create during your time at UHP that determines how much time you spend with it. So my first experience with Seoul, South Korea, that was during the summer, so it didn't interfere with my schoolwork at all. You can really play around with that and choose when you do your experiences so that it best fits your schedule.
Elizabeth, when do you apply for RAMP?
Yeah, I answered that question in the chat, but you would basically apply in the fall semester and then it starts in the spring semester.
Mm-hmm. And specifically, RAMP is focused towards our first and second year student populations. The focus is to really quickly get that mentorship experience under wraps so that you can get started right away. We have time for one or two more questions. We're already 10 minutes over. There's really no weekly or monthly meetings or time commitments. Once you get past the Gateway to University Honors class, that's a once a week class that meets in the fall semester of your first year for an hour. And then after that, everything is kind of up to you and your engagement level. So, and then
Jason.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. There were a lot of questions about how co-ops are related to experiences, so I thought I'd just touch on that.
Yep, that was the one I
perfect.
wanted to pull up last.
Yeah, so I'm in a 5 co-op program, and so my required, like, I can't just take my 5 required co-ops and being like, those are my honors experiences, but I could take my co-op that I'm going to this summer and like talk to my honors advisor and write a proposal, and I don't know, an idea like, oh, over my co-op I'm going to, for 1 hour X many times, do this to strengthen myself as a blank for blank. Like if you add something in addition to your co-op, then you can make your co-op into an experience. Or like, oh, when I'm on co-op, I'm going to write a book about how to get a co-op. Then that's also an experience. So hopefully that's semi-answered.
Yeah, whenever I advised our engineering students, I told them that they had like 3 different options to do while they were on co-op. One, they could approach their boss and ask for like some additional opportunities or projects, or even some. So that's one. I had a student who ended up learning 2 different types of code that wasn't part of his job, and created this whole project that then got him his next co-op that took him to Italy, and they paid for his housing, his flight, everything to get him out there, which was a really cool opportunity. And that's because he used honors as a motivation for him to look at more than what the co-op was just presenting him with by itself. There are some co-ops that count. So the international co-op program, for instance, is a type of experience that does count. If you do research as part of your co-op, then those can sometimes count. And then the third piece is what Haley mentioned. If you want to spend your nights and weekends working on other interests, going around the town, traveling, seeing different things, taking up a personal project, whatever you want to do. Some of our students use leadership and student organizations towards honors experiences. Again, there are limitless options. So
yeah, I think one of my peers, like their drive out to their co-op, they did this huge like photo documentary of like the United States as they drove out to San Francisco on their way to the co-op and made that into an honors experience. So
yep.
there's a lot of really interesting opportunities.
Yeah. So with that, we are approaching 15 minutes after our allotted time. Sorry, we didn't get to all of the questions that we have here, but we do have our information here. If you want to reach out to us and reach out to me, you can always email honors at uc.edu and just say that you have some follow-up questions that you'd like to have answered. Or if you'd like to follow up with any of our ambassadors, you can also let me know that you'd like to get in touch with some of our ambassadors. They're more than happy to answer emails or anything else, so I can help you get in contact with any of them if there's a specific program. We have ambassadors from all different types of colleges. So on behalf of all of my fantastic honors ambassadors who helped present tonight, and on behalf of UHP and UC, we really want to thank you for your time, spending your evening with us, and hopefully we helped clarify your decisions, really important ones that you have up and coming. And our priority is that you're making the right decision for yourself. Whether or not that's UC, we hope that we answered a lot of your questions so that you can make that very important decision together, yourself, your family, everyone else who's there along with you. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and hope to see you in the fall. And thanks for answering all the questions too in the text. Hopefully everybody got their answers. You all were amazing. Thank you very much. I'm actually going to end this call because I have another call right after this one to take. Never a dull night, but thank you so much for everything. See you. Mm-hmm.